Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
I'm reaching my dreams with GUT. They're the ones for me. I'm reaching my dreams with GUT. They're the ones for me. Since 1983, they've been serving the country, and we like all their financing, giving the people what they want, what they need, what they love. Come and join the family that's here for you all the way. From birth to graduation, your first job to your home and your car through your golden years.
The GT Credit Union has been actively supporting nation building through its many sponsorships and programs including financial literacy quiz, Pass the Torch Calypso program, junior cooperatives in secondary schools, CPEA, and the TAMCC grants. The credit union has helped many people make their dreams come true. Let them help you with yours. You don't have to be a teacher to be a member. So what are you waiting for?
GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
This is the GBN television news for today, Monday, May 4th, 2020. I'm Beverly Telesford.
And I'm Odette Campbell. Good evening. We start the news on a sad note. St. David's biker succumbs to injuries in weekend crash.
The first of a series of vehicle inspections carried out today at National Stadium.
Police reporting smooth flow at newly launched Vehicle Inspection Center.
Loss of chicken averted as poultry farmers receive long-awaited feed.
And coming up in the second segment this evening, government announces an extension to the curfew but allows 2 additional categories of businesses to open their doors.
And in sports, West Indies legend Michael Holding heaps scorn on ridiculous ICC Test Championships.
And in around the globe this evening, Guyana recount set finally to begin on Wednesday.
The details of these right after this message.
A 32-year-old man has died after a vehicular accident on the weekend and is the second such fatality for the year. GBN's Christina John has been following that story. Sends us this report.
A young man of Corinth, St. David, is Grenada's latest road fatality. Dead is 32-year-old Wendell Pear of Corinth, St. David, who lost his life as a result of a vehicle collision on the Corinth Main Road on Sunday. The accident involved a scooter of which Pear was the rider and a black RAV4. Head of the Traffic Department, Superintendent Randy Connaught, in providing details to Saturday's accident, said, in spite of their warning to the motoring public, it appears to be falling on some deaf ears.
Yesterday evening, just around 3:30 p.m., I was alerted to a very serious accident occurring along the Corinth Public Road that is close to the intersection with Syracuse Junction. On my arrival at the scene, the individual involved in the accident, a motorcyclist riding a scooter, was already taken to the General Hospital via ambulance in very critical condition, suffering severe head trauma. We learned this morning that he succumbed to his injury, and that is very sad indeed.
In an earlier police press brief, Superintendent Connaught said there has been a reduction in accidents in recent weeks. However, the superintendent says a level of irresponsible behaviors on the days of the easement have been noticed.
And despite our best efforts, just yesterday, at least 10 minutes before being alerted to this accident, I had to call in my officers in the field to alert them to a number of motorcyclists seen along the St. Paul's Public Road, and I later learned there was a number of them seen along the Calivini Public Road, and riding in a manner that was unbecoming. And suffice to say, The easement that was granted yesterday for shopping had nothing to do with the riding of motorcycling for leisure.
The officer once again sends this reminder to the general public, which he hopes will be adhered to, hence avoiding another unwelcome occurrence.
Appeal to the motoring public. We are still under emergency regulations, and the easement that have been provided on occasions, especially on the Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, is to conduct particular business. And it is not an occasion for us to go joyriding or to engage in any other activity that is not being permitted under the regulations.
Pierre's death brings the total number of road fatalities for 2020 to 2. Christelina John, GBN News.
The first of a series of vehicle inspections was carried out today by the Traffic Department. The suspension of the inspection period was brought about by the coronavirus lockdown imposed by government. Indications are that the lawmen are saying, so far, so good. This process is going very smoothly, said Superintendent Randy Connaught, attached to the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force, as he commented on the first day of inspection carried out by the RGPF. The inspection took place at the National Stadium and facilitated over 200 vehicles today. Superintendent Randy Connaught said the inspection was originally set up for vehicles affected or expiring during the lockdown period. However, proper planning and execution left them with a shortage of vehicles to inspect, which led to officers extending the licensing period for vehicles affected up to May 15th.
And from all the reports, feedback, and the assessment that were undertaken thus far suggests that we are on the right track. We have extended this period for vehicles from the first and second licensing period going up to the 30th of March. However, because of the manner in which we were expediting this process, we are now calling on vehicles that would be expiring on the 15th of May to come in now to have the vehicles inspected. So we just sent out another call through the media, an appeal through the media for the members of the general public whose vehicles would be due for inspection by the 15th of May so they can come into the National Stadium.
The superintendent went on to explain the process at the stadium.
Motorists would come through gate 6 and the entrance would be coming through the Cherry Hill end. It's a one-way arrangement, and there is a sign posted with an arrow indicating you to the lane for the inspection tents. When you're queued up, we have 5 tents, but we actually are operating 6 inspection points at the same time. After having been inspected, then you make your way over to the parking area. Drivers are expected to make their way to the first point, which is also a point that is managed by police officers, marked on the ground, and we really want persons to observe the distancing protocols that are in place. And that is where you take your inspection slip and your insurance certificate to go to have your inspection formal certificate be prepared, after which it is taken, you follow the arrows and you join the queue that takes you up to the cashier and the licensing decal issuing point.
Some of the vehicle owners expressed approval with how effective the inspection process was.
And I think the process has worked very well, considering we're in COVID-19 times. And overall, I'm very impressed with the way Grenada has handled the whole situation, which has been better than some first world countries. I've spoken to my family abroad, and Grenada is on a par, if not better, than many first world countries. I think they've done very well today, and it's been a very good experience.
The process is all right, easy, very easy, you know. Yeah, that is good. I like to see that.
Well, I was so surprised because I come out and get fishing cornwall. On my way down, I see so many vehicles in the road. But sitting home, I heard the announcement that anybody are expired in March, they could come. Man, when I reached in the park, I couldn't believe it. Just had us to drive straight into the line. That is well done by the officers and them. Well, properly done. Properly done. I give hands up to them. I hope they keep doing nice work like that.
Superintendent Connaught said the process was a joint collaboration between the Traffic Department and the Inland Revenue Department.
Beverly, I see you smiling there. That means you'll try and go and get your inspection done tomorrow, right? Moving on, poultry farmers are breathing a sigh of relief. They have received a shipment of feed from neighboring Trinidad and Tobago. The local milling company was unable to supply the feed because of a government-instituted shutdown following reports of some employees being diagnosed with the COVID-19 virus. GBN's Gerald Joseph was on hand on the weekend as they offloaded the supplies.
You know, we are grateful for all the persons who have contributed to making this a reality, but at this point the struggle is still on for us as farmers because we're yet to get the feeds into the mouths of our birds.
It was not until around 12 noon that the MV Liberation began offloading feed onto the trucks, which had been waiting for almost 3 hours. The closure of the local feed mill had left the Grenada Association of Poultry Producers and its farmers with one of two choices. They either had to get the emergency supply of feed to keep their birds alive at higher cost or wait till Friday for Caribbean Agro Industries feed to arrive. Government last Tuesday had granted Caribbean Agro permission to import feed from one of its branches in the region. Notably, the president of the Poultry Association, Jason Phillips, says, marking Saturday's date, some farmers had been without feed for 8 days.
Which would give us 2 weeks without feed if we currently had to wait on the monopoly supplier here in Grenada for poultry feeds. Within a 2-week period, that would allow for almost all of the livestock in the poultry industry to be decimated.
The Trinidad National Flour Mills was swiftly sought by the association, who Mr. Phillip notes contacted the relevant authorities to expedite the clearance of feed from the port.
Already we have several farmers who have reported major losses on their farms due to starvation of their birds, and at this point we are at the mercy of the port facilities and so that we can get this feed out as quickly as possible.
Farmers were captured on camera waiting for the arrival of the feed at the designated points around Grenada. One such location was the vicinity of the National Cricket Stadium and Grenlex plant at Queen's Park.
I think it's a very good initiative by them trying to assist the farmers in that respect. Yeah,
it's a good initiative because as farmers, and I mean we have the chicks and thing to get feed, and the factory is closed down now, so we had to source it somehow, which is good. And I find it was very quick too.
That has affected me very badly. For the past week, I've been feeding my birds on mangoes, watergrass, and water.
We have no feed, so it worth the wait. You know that we have to hold on until feed comes.
It is a very, very good initiative. You see, and I thank Mr. Phillip very much for that because he has been there with us right through, and he put in his, as the people say, put your head on a block to get a feed for us, and that is very, very good.
Financially, it affected me a lot because agriculture person, you know, dealing in agriculture, we lose a lot.
Right now, we have to take the feed, if not, the birds will die.
The association president, while highlighting that they have made a request for financial assistance for the shipment expenses, adds that the association and farmers are absorbing 100% of the cost. I am Gerald Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, poultry farmers' losses are not only being measured by the number of birds that have died due to starvation, but also to the severe decrease in production levels and growth. GBN got a greater insight into the plight of poultry producers as they awaited the emergency shipment of feed on Saturday.
Poultry farmers such as Rex Dowden, who has had to feed his birds with mangoes and watergrass, says production levels have already dwindled from 20 trays to 8 trays of eggs daily. Highlighting on his and his colleague farmers' troubles, he summarized the situation they now face.
So the feed we get now, we don't mind paying the higher price because it's to keep the birds alive. But then we had to get something from somewhere about funds to come in so they could get to buy more feed and pay our workers.
Another poultry farmer, Gavin Pierre, impresses that the lack of feed over the last week is causing irreparable damage for farmers and their livestock.
Basically, everything is in stages with these birds. And once you break a cycle, it takes a certain amount of time for them to actually settle back into a normal routine of laying.
He notes that the losses caused by starvation is compounded by the birds fighting and killing each other due to the barbaric and cannibalistic nature.
In terms of words, there's only one thing you can say. It's sad. It's a grim situation, and we feel
as farmers, we really feel let down. We feel in some sort of way we've been just let go, and we're fighting and struggling on our own.
Pierre, who is a farmer association president, adds that all farmers have experienced losses.
Now, whether you have loss of life, you have loss of growth, or you have loss of output, it's losses. What I could tell you, the repair period, it's not something like I say, once we get feed, it's going to just normalize itself. No, that's not the case.
He reiterates that the entire industry is suffering losses of some kind right now. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
A challenging time for the nation's poultry farmers, but we hope that we are all able to recover from this. Still to come in the news this evening, Grenada confirms its youngest case of COVID-19. Stay with us.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 350 local anywhere calls and texts. With the always-on prepaid plans, all for $25. Keep your number when you switch to Grenada's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Republic Bank assures all personal, small business, commercial, and corporate banking customers of our continued support during these uncertain times. We have extended a moratorium on all loans, including mortgages and student loans, for up to 6 months. However, there is an option to opt out of this arrangement only upon request. Late fees on credit cards, loan repayments, and overdrawn accounts are being waived, as well as penalties for early withdrawals of certificate of deposit accounts. These measures will be in place for 6 months. To opt out of the moratorium, please email us at customercare@republicgrenada.com by April 30th, 2020.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The Grenada Distillers Limited joins the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique in the fight against COVID-19. Only together we can beat this pandemic. As a corporate citizen, we have temporarily stopped the production of rum, and our focus has been on the production of a sanitizing solution to assist in the fight against this dreadful pandemic. We have commenced free distribution to the senior citizens' homes, children's homes, and other vital organizations around the country, and made this product available to you at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. We encourage you to please listen and obey the guidelines issued by our health authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Together, and only together, we can beat COVID-19.
Hills and Valley Medcare Center, located on Grenville Street, St. George's, has a highly professional team that gives excellent service in massage therapy, physiotherapy, speech therapy, medical consultation, and more. Hills and Valley Medcare Center sells a wide range of medical supplies, offers home visits for patients in Grenada and Carriacou, and opens Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. through to 7 p.m. Visit or call Hills and Valley Medcare Center today, 435-6904.
The NIS is committed to your well-being and continues to provide the same excellent service to you from the safety of your home or office. Therefore, from April 2020, all remittances must be submitted electronically to nisremit@nisgrenada.org. The e-remittance template can be downloaded from our website at www.nisgrenada.org/e-submission. Alternatively, you can provide us with your email address and the required Excel spreadsheet will be sent to you. Call 440-3309 or chat with us on social media for more information. NIS, serving you because we care.
Our superheroes are all among us. They don't wear capes nor have superpowers. In fact, they appear to be quite ordinary. They are the ones who provide us with food. They are our farmers, our grocery store workers, our vendors. They are our fishermen. They are the ones who heal us, our doctors and medical practitioners. They are the ones who protect us, our police officers. They are all the other essential workers who make this period bearable. And how can we forget our teachers, dedicated to educating our children no matter the circumstance? To everyone who is doing their part to make sure the wheel keeps turning, Ariza says, thank you.
Leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Republic Bank assures all personal, small business, commercial, and corporate banking customers of our continued support during these uncertain times. We have extended a moratorium on all loans, including mortgages and student loans, for up to 6 months. However, there is an option to opt out of this arrangement only upon request. Late fees on credit cards, loan repayments, and overdrawn accounts are being waived, as well as penalties for early withdrawals of certificate of deposit accounts. These measures will be in place for 6 months. To opt out of the moratorium, please email us at customercare@republicgrenada.com by April 30th, 2020.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to News at 7. The island has registered its youngest COVID-19 case. The announcement was made by Health Minister Nicholas Steele on Saturday. Akeisha Felix has been following this development.
With 13 recovered COVID-19 cases and 7 active cases on island, Grenada on Saturday announced its 21st case, with the patient being the youngest thus far. Minister for Health Nicholas Steele, while issuing a statement to the public over the weekend, gave an update on patient 21.
Today, May 2nd, 2020, I announced the 21st laboratory confirmed case of COVID-19 here in Grenada. To date, there have been 20 total cases on mainland Grenada, of which 13 have been declared medically recovered. The total active cases are now 7. This most recent case is a male in his early 20s who is also an employee of the same company as 4 of our previously announced cases. His household has been in quarantine, and so are the other possible contacts of case number 15. Already, all of the employees of that company and their contacts have been tested, with most returning negative. However,
Minister Steele said health officials continue to be vigilant with their contact tracing and are still working to determine the original point of contact for these workplace cases.
Our present case is cause for concern for another reason. This is one of our youngest cases so far. Health experts the world over have been raising alarm in recent weeks over the increasing number of young people contracting and dying from the virus. Early reports coming out of Wuhan, China, at the onset of COVID-19 suggested that the elderly and people with pre-existing conditions were more likely to be seriously affected by the virus. But as the virus continues to spread worldwide, the United States Center for Disease Control and other expert agencies have reported an alarming trend in that a significant number of young people are now being infected, and many of them seriously so, to the point of requiring hospitalization or intensive care.
According to the health minister, with case 21 being the youngest on island thus far, health experts around the world have been raising alarm in recent weeks over the increasing number of young people contracting and dying from the virus. Akeisha Felix for GBN News.
Government has further extended the curfew under the State of Emergency Act, but while it does so, it's allowing more businesses to operate. We get more in this report.
The current curfew, which is due to end tomorrow Tuesday, has been extended to next Tuesday, May 12th at 7 a.m. This was announced by the government of Grenada over the weekend. The curfew was supposed to come to an end tomorrow Tuesday 5th, but was extended after careful review. During this period, every person shall remain confined to their place of residence, inclusive of their yard space, avoiding contact outside of their household, except as provided in the regulations or authorized in writing by the Commissioner of Police, acting on the direction of the Cabinet. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are the new designated business days for this week, as consistent with the original schedule, unless notified in advance by the relevant authority. Computer stores and stationery supplies are the two new categories of business allowed to open their doors to the public going forward. During the assigned business days of this week, the public is also allowed to engage in outdoor exercise, but only alone or together with family members living under the same roof, not exceeding an hour and a half per day between the hours of 5 a.m. and 6 p.m., and all beaches remain closed. Grenadians are reminded to wear a mask covering over the nose and mouth when in any public space or vehicle with any other person. The public is also cautioned to exercise physical distancing of at least 6 feet from the next person so as to minimize the spread of the COVID-19 virus. All other regulations stand. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
And continue with our coverage of COVID-19. We heard the Health Minister, the Honorable Nicholas Steele, say a few moments ago that the country's 21st COVID-19 case is related to a small cluster of cases identified at a local company. To date, health officials are still unable to determine the source. Does this indicate community transmission or, as it said, community spread? Tonight on Beyond the Headlines, we will be examining some of those issues in depth. Our panelists this evening are Minister for Health Nicholas Steele and the COVID-19 Coordinator Dr. George Mitchell. We will be opening the phone lines very early tonight because we know many of you have questions that you have been longing to ask the Health Minister and other officials. So remember, you can also make your contributions via the GBN Facebook page. You can call us during the program at 440-1252. The number again, 440-1252. That's coming up on Beyond the Headlines. Grenada's Health Minister Nicholas Steele and the COVID-19 Coordinator Dr. George Mitchell, they'll be at your disposal tonight. Do join us for that at 8:35.
Now, many banks in Grenada and the region are offering deferrals to customers on mortgages and loan payments during the COVID-19 pandemic. But the head of one business in Trinidad says the deferred payments are really an extra cost and not a benefit. We get more from our associate Nisha John Mohammed of TV6 News.
Many persons have welcomed the 6-month loan and mortgage deferral from banks with open arms. But have they actually calculated the compound interest that will be added on after the 6-month hiatus is up? Well, that's what the president of the Arima Business Association, Rival Chatagun, said he did with his business loan. And guess what? His compound interest at the end of the 6-month period works out to be significantly higher than what he would have repaid had he continued paying his monthly installments.
I asked for 3 months, and what had happened is simply that process during the term of the entire loan costed me $200,000 in interest as a result of I am asking for a 3 months extension.
He said that the propaganda promulgated by the banking sector is far from the truth, and what they have done is duped and misled the population in order to continue making profits.
Early in the game, the banks came as our savior. They said, we will defer payments up to 6 months. And I want to touch on that because I think that whole propaganda, that whole sense of comfort, people think different of what it is. So let's talk about the deferral. The deferral says, in common sense term, is that if you're owing for the 6 months, no mortgages, and if your installments should finish on January, it's now finished on June. That is the furthest from the truth.
Chattagoon is questioning why the authorities have been silent on this form of abuse and exploitation.
The icing on the cake is even our monthly mortgages after this 3 months actually goes up by between $7,000 to $9,000 per month during the term of the loan. So one must understand our mortgages are due, our electricity bills are due, water is due, flow, internet, telephone, all of these things are recurring expenses. The longer that it takes there, is harder it is for we to get out of the hole.
That report was filed by Anisha John Mohammed of TV6 News. We take a break, but still to come, officers of the RGPF offer assistance to young man and family in crisis. Stay with us.
The Esplanade Mall, something for everyone. Go on a shopping spree today and experience some magic. It's new, innovative and classy, and a cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
They say sometimes less is more, but at Real Value IGA Supermarket, we believe more is more. And since we are all about more, we want to buy more from farmers like you so we can sell more to our customers. If you have a farmer's ID and fresh produce to sell, Real Value IGA wants to buy.
For more information, contact Real Value IGA on WhatsApp at 405-4405 or give them a call at 439-2121.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Ovio.com. Sale. All the outlets, hotspot outlets. You're going to go to the Carnage, the Grenville, or the Sutter's hotspot, and you get sales and deals on all items. You can get these on potato, you can get these on saltfish, onion, garlic, mackerel, toilet paper, and we even have the currants and the raisin at $10 per pound, lowest price island-wide. So people just come down or go up or go across, but just make sure and go to hotspots.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 70 channels and 12 in HD. All for $200 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Welcome back. We often hear about the bad stories, but now we turn to a nice, pleasant story. What could have landed one man on the other side of the law turned into a story of genuine compassion thanks to members of the Royal Grenada Police Force. GBN's Cherian Blackman-Steven tells the story.
A choice between breaking curfew and feeding his family is one that a Montparnasse resident had to decide on amidst the limited state of emergency imposed on Grenadians. Government implemented a curfew as a precautionary measure to limit the spread of COVID-19 coronavirus. Recently, officers attached to the drug squad unit was on mobile patrol, passing through the area of Montparnasse St. George at a time when the curfew was in effect. But their stop to question a man engaged in business resulted in something they did not expect. GBN spoke with ASP Simon Dixon, head of the drug squad unit, about that encounter.
The team met this young man. He was selling kites by the road, and he explained his situation in terms of being the only breadwinner in the family in Montparnasse. Therefore, the team coordinated. They called back the High Command Center, reported the incident, and actually explained the situation for the Command Center that allowed the guy just a couple hours so he could continue his trade and to shut off.
ASP Dixon said that recognizing the plight of this family, the team reached out to police headquarters and spoke to WPC 133 Julian about the need to assist this family. The call for help was quickly answered in the form of money and essential grocery items.
The team decided to put some money together. I got the groceries and made a presentation to the family.
The supplies were brought and delivered to the home of Paul and his elderly parents, identified only as Alpheus and Norma. ASP Dixon said the RGPF stands proud of the action of these few officers who have shown that these patrols are not only to maintain law and order during this period, but can identify individuals with needs within the communities and assist where necessary.
We know how it is, how challenging it is for individuals that do not have a monthly income, and those persons that have various trades, and therefore, it calls for a lot of discretion, a lot of consideration by the police and the patrol teams. Of course, you may be one or two that blatantly disregard the curfew, but there are one or two again. There are some, definitely has to make ends meet, and you could see that genuine. So we have to kind of balance it then. Have to give them some time where they can actually make money, at the same time protect themselves during this period.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
For the first time in 60 years, May Day celebrations were held virtually due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In his Labor Day message, Minister Peter David acknowledged the sacrifice and dedication of workers in Grenada. The details in this report.
In a statement issued by the Government Information Service, Labour Minister Peter David called for a concerted effort in keeping all the avenues of dialogue opened to understand the greater cause of the workers, especially the least among us. The minister says one can disagree without being disagreeable and must never let genuine struggle put one set of working-class people against another. He adds that government is committed to spending millions to ensure people are not set back too far and ensuring no job is lost in the public sector and that every payment is met. Minister David called on leaders of the private sector to seek to safeguard their workers. He says discussions have already started in different sectors, including the private sector and trade unions, informing them of certain conditions that must be in place to protect the health and safety of workers. Labor Day celebrations was held under the theme, celebrating 65 years, educating, empowering and building capacity among workers. Christina John, GBN News.
An intensivist and a doctor in internal medicine are the two latest additions to the COVID-19 medical team. They make up the already 37-strong Cuban medical team in Grenada. The two arrived at the Morris Bishop International Airport on Friday to aid in the campaign against the COVID-19 virus. The Government Information Service has that story.
Two Cuban doctors arrived in Grenada on Friday, May 1st, as the latest addition to a huge Cuban medical team that is already on island, helping Grenada in its fight against COVID-19. There are currently 37 members of the Cuban medical team in Grenada, which has now been joined by an intensivist and a doctor in internal medicine. They were welcomed by Minister for Health, the Honorable Nicholas Steele, Foreign Minister, the Honorable Peter David, the Cuban ambassador in St. George's, Uraida de la Caridad Guerrero, and COVID-19 response coordinator, Dr. George Mitchell. Health Minister Nicholas Steele says Grenada's international partners, Cuba especially, but also countries like China and Venezuela, have been of great assistance throughout this entire crisis. He adds that the Ministry of Health and the government of Grenada have had great success in managing the situation. Minister Steele also said, and I quote, "We believe that at this stage, given everything, we are in a good position, with the discipline of our people, to get a handle of the entire situation. But we will always remember the contribution of our friends."
Thank you. Welcome. This is your second home, and we will do whatever is necessary to keep you welcome.
Foreign Minister Peter David, who was also part of the Grenadian delegation welcoming the Cuban doctors, said, quote, "Cuba's contribution to the international fight against COVID is one of the remarkable stories of this crisis. The world has seen Cuban solidarity at its best. This is a selfless people who have given time and time again. And in spite of their many challenges and pressure from some quarters, they have always stood steadfast. The entire world owes them a ton of gratitude." Unquote.
You're working Africa, in Ebola crisis. You're working Haiti. You're working Italy, all over the world. And we are deeply moved. I was watching the plane and thinking, these gentlemen have left their families. You left your kids and your wife to come to help us. They are deeply moved and appreciative of that. And your ambassador here, very dear friend of ours, we will do everything to make you comfortable. The Minister of Health and others make you comfortable. And please convey to your leaders our deepest gratitude.
The Cuban ambassador says Cuba is pleased to contribute to Grenada's fight against this pandemic. She said, and I quote, "Your country can always count on Cuban solidarity. Our country is grateful for your continued solidarity, and we are proud of our ever-deep friendship, which has blossomed through the years." Unquote.
Stay tuned now for this evening's GBN ISAW compliments Clear Vision Eye Center.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISAW is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know
know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
Tonight's Eyesore features a citizen, Glenn Alexander, dropping off goods and necessities to people in need amidst the coronavirus pandemic. You can send in your photo and video submissions via our social media platforms. Stay with us. The weather and sports up next.
Communal, we are adapting to meet the changing needs of our shareholders and members. Times are changing, and with the changing times comes a whole new way to do business. Our parents may have done their banking a different way. Communal's state-of-the-art online banking and international debit card allows members to do business with great ease. It's like literally having a branch in your very own hands. Need a loan? Apply online from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the world, and your request will be dealt with remotely. Want to transfer between your accounts or another shareholder? No wait time for transactions to update. Voila! Who needs receipts when you can receive them via e-statements on your mobile device and save the environment? Not a communal member? You can join our family today by applying online. At Communal, we see you working hard to ensure that you save, invest, and grow. Communal, join us today. This will be the best financial decision you have ever made. My name is Hollis, Mr. Killer Map, and I endorse this message.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time, safe and affordable. Friendly staff here to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load with Tropical shipping, so we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with Tropical. I can't wait. No package too big, too small. I cannot wait to ship with Tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with Tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. A telephone number 440-8787 or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
The Grenada Distillers Limited joins the government and people of Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique in the fight against COVID-19. Only together we can beat this pandemic. As a corporate citizen, we have temporarily stopped the production of rum, and our focus has been on the production of a sanitizing solution to assist in the fight against this dreadful pandemic. We have commenced free distribution to the senior citizens' homes, children's homes, and other vital organizations around the country, and made this product available to you at supermarkets and pharmacies island-wide. We encourage you to please listen and obey the guidelines issued by our health authority and the Royal Grenada Police Force. Together, and only together, we can beat COVID-19.
Keeping an eye on the weather, this is GBN. We've got you covered.
Weather for Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique valid for tonight and the following 3 days. Weather tonight mostly fair and breezy with few light showers during partly cloudy spells. Tonight's minimum temperature 26 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Seas moderate, waves 5 to 7 feet in open water. Tides low at 7:15 p.m. and high at 1 a.m. Sunrise tomorrow, 5:47. Weather for Tuesday, May 5th, mostly fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy at night with few light showers. Weather for Wednesday, May 6th, mostly fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy at night with some light showers. And weather for Thursday, May 7th, mostly fair and windy with few light showers. Now for your sports news.
Well, good evening, sporting fans. We are bowling it off on the cricket pitch. Legendary West Indies fast bowler turned commentator Michael Holden has heaped criticism on the newly introduced International Cricket Council ICC World Test Championship Series. The competition, which was introduced in August last year, is meant to be the premier championship for Test cricket. The tournament features 9 of the 12 Test-playing nations, each of which plays a Test series against 6 of the other 8 teams. Each team will be able to score a maximum of 120 points from each series, and the 2 teams with the most points at the end of the league stage will contest the final. However, Holding has taken exception with both the format of the competition and its established points system. He says the points system is ridiculous, as although all teams will play 6 series, they will not play the same number of tests. Holding adds that you can't play 5 test matches and get the same amount of points if you play 2 test matches. And continuing with cricket this evening, we're looking forward to the possibility of any games being played, and discussions around rescheduling the West Indies tour of England have included the possibility of visitors going into isolation for as long as 14 days. The 3-test series was due to begin in June, but the shutdown of cricket in England and Wales has been extended until at least the 1st of July. The earliest date for the first test could begin, and that is around the 8th of July. If the West Indies are in isolation, they are likely to have access to practice facilities at a locked-down venue. As it stands, there are no restrictions placed on overseas travelers arriving in the UK. On the weekend, the England and Wales Cricket Board said that positive discussions had been held with Cricket West Indies over a revised schedule for the tour. Any cricket that does take place this summer is likely to be held behind closed doors, perhaps in a biosecure environment. We'll see what happens with that. COVID-19 is interrupting everything. We continue with German football, where clubs in the top 2 German divisions have returned 10 positive results from 1,724 coronavirus tests. Clubs have been training in groups, with the tests taken before a planned return to training as teams. Measures, including the isolation of the affected person, have taken place. The Bundesliga is set to become the first major football league in Europe to return to competition. Officials have suggested resuming on the 9th of May, but the government has delayed the decision, and a restart may now be on the 16th or the 23rd of May. We'll wait to see how that goes. And that takes us to the end of the sporting line this evening. Stay with us. We'll take a look at what's happening around the globe. First, looking at what's happening around the Caribbean. And now taking a look at what's been happening around the Caribbean and around the world this evening. We begin with news from Guyana, where the long-awaited national recount of the March 2nd general and regional elections will get underway on Wednesday of this week. This has been confirmed by Commissioner of the Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM, Mr. Vincent Alexander. He says the operational plan and the final order for the recount have been completed. GCOM's chairman, Justice Claudette Singh, is expected to make a pronouncement in writing to commissioners in what is expected to be the final say on the matter. And looking now to COVID-19, the University of the West Indies, UWI, and the World Health Organization, the WHO, are collaborating on a large international project examining options for drugs and treating the coronavirus. Professor Terence Simongal, Dean of the Faculty of Medical Sciences at UWI St. Augustine, notes the concerns in the public domain that persons may be unwilling to take part in a World Health Organization trial of 4 drugs to treat COVID-19. But he says the data does not support the opinion out in the public sphere. Internationally this evening, the reports are that Kim is alive and well. After weeks of speculation about Kim Jong-un's whereabouts, the state media has published images of the North Korean leader at a factory. We get details in this report.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's 20-day disappearance was merely to protect himself from the coronavirus. The Washington Post reported Saturday, citing 2 sources familiar with the matter, that Kim had retreated to a beach resort in Wonsan after learning in mid-April that one of his subordinates had suffered from a fever. It added that South Korean and U.S. officials were skeptical that Kim had died. Signals intelligence didn't show any rise in communication in Pyongyang, and days before Kim's reappearance, Seoul had shared information with Washington that contradicted media reports about Kim's death. The first report suggesting Kim Jong-un was in bad health came from Seoul-based online media outlet Daily NK, which claimed that Kim had been recovering after having cardiovascular surgery. Then CNN reported that the U.S. is monitoring information that Kim is in grave danger after having heart surgery. But the South Korean government made a rare outright rebuttal to these reports, saying the government is sure that there had been nothing peculiar happening in the north.
We tell you once again, we have sufficient intelligence capabilities to confidently say that there are no unusual developments in the north.
South Korea collects North Korea information through satellites, signals intelligence, human intelligence, and information revealed through North Korean outlets. During the recent controversy surrounding Kim Jong-un's whereabouts, Seoul and Washington were reportedly aware through satellite information that Kim was in Wonsan.
And that's our look at what's been happening around the region and around the globe. When we come back, a recap of the main points in the news. And in case you joined us late this evening, the top stories in the news: St. David's biker succumbs to injuries in weekend crash. Police report smooth flow at newly launched vehicle inspection center at the National Stadium. Poultry farmers breathing easier as they take possession of stocks from neighboring Trinidad and Tobago. Government announces an extended curfew but allows 2 additional categories of businesses to open their doors. Stationery supply shops and computer stores are allowed to operate on the business days. And in sports this evening, West Indies legend Michael Holden heaps scorn on what he describes as ridiculous ICC test system. In Around the Globe, we've heard that finally Guyana recount to begin on Wednesday.
Now, if you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Beverly Telesford.
And I'm Odette Campbell. A reminder that Beyond the Headlines comes up at 8:35 tonight. If you have any questions for the Minister of Health or the COVID-19 response coordinator, Dr. George Mitchell, you can call 440-1252. You'll be able to get your questions fielded on tonight's Beyond the Headlines. I'll see you around.